No, okay.
Okay. So I should be recording, and I'm gonna take my screen out of share mode, so you guys don't have to see that anymore. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, so we're good. Dottie?
All right. Okay, thank you, Julia, for all of that. Thank you guys for coming. I love seeing your faces, especially now when we're not seeing a whole lot of faces. So let's start. The first question is just an introduction. We'd like to hear from you guys. Tell us what your name is, where you live, how do you participate in cookies? Are you a hobbyer? Are you a professional? Do you teach? Do you sell custom orders? Just give us a brief. And we are going to try to keep it brief. All of your answers try to keep to about a minute or less so we can make sure that we get to everybody and all of the questions. So introduce yourselves, and Julia will...
I'll just call on people as to do that. So maybe we start with Elke. Am I pronouncing that even correctly?
Yes, yes. Hi, guys. I'm Elke Heutzle from Brazil. Hi, everybody. I have been doing cookies for about 2.5 years now. I do it professionally, and I am a 8 days old YouTuber now. I got very inspired by Julia, so now I'm teaching all the Brazilians that don't have access to classes how to do cookies. And I do have classes in my atelier, my space, and I'm very happy that I am part of the cookie world.
Nice to meet you, Elke. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you finally.
Thank you, Julia.
It's up next.
Who's that, Julia?
Maria?
Hi, I'm Maria, and I live in Westchester County in New York, right near the epicenter of the pandemic. I am a teacher, full-time teacher, and I'm a hobbyist. Actually, I am a professional cookier. I do it part-time, obviously. I sell custom cookies to people all around here. I do it out of my home as a cottage business, and I just love it. I absolutely love it. It's a great opportunity to be very creative. So,
good.
Yay.
Great.
Tina, otherwise.
Hi. Finally, all these years, my goodness. It's really nice to connect with everybody. This is like my first time ever going live, but I was really excited to meet you guys. I think I'm probably one of the oldest in the cookie community. Started when my daughter went away to medical school, and I really had nothing to do. And I can't really say I started self-taught, but I've had the opportunity of going to classes with some really super women throughout Europe. I do teach, but very sparingly, mostly private, because raw icing is something that is not really used in Greece. It's 90% fondant, 99% fondant. And it's only because the amount of money people can actually get for a cookie is so low, it doesn't make sense for them to spend any time really working when you're getting 50 or 75 cents, $1 a cookie. So they just, slap on some fondant, with a flour and, go for it kind of thing. But I look at it as being an art, and it's something that I've tried to challenge myself over the years. I mean, Julian knows me from the beginning, when I was like so thrilled to finally have a computer and be able to, do a marble effect. I mean, I've listened to you. You've spent more time with me than anybody. Just, having company and listening over and over again to videos, and, it's a great thing. It really, this has just changed my life, being automated through the internet.
Yeah, it's really amazing how that
Ah.
I was talking to some friends, because I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls, some college roommates and old people I worked with in my past jobs, and kind of remarking on this generation of friends for me was acquired in a really different way. You know, everybody I know here on this call, and pretty much that I'm spending all my time with now, are people that I first came across online, cultivated those kinds of friendships, and then they blossomed into more. So it's really nice.
Yeah, it is. It's
All right.
marvelous.
Thank you, Christina.
So Patricia, is it
Tina.
Patricia or Patricia?
Well, it's really both because I'm originally a Spanish speaker. I'm originally from Venezuela, but I now live in Austin, Texas. So I'm Patricia here. So either one works. I'm okay. So yeah, I live in Austin, Texas. I've been here for a while, for about 10 years. Before that, I lived with my husband in Massachusetts. That's where we met. So, and we moved back in the recession years, and we've been here since. I've been doing this as a hobby for about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, and I started doing it professionally about 1.5 years ago. I have a cottage bakery, so I do it from my home, and of course I just sell locally. But just recently I started with a more artistic kind of view of cooking, and ever since I did, and I was in the show here in Texas earlier this year, and that was my first attempt of anything you know, artistic, and I just did it just for fun, and you know, my piece was not even anything that great, but it just got me started. You know, I just had to jump in and see other people. I really did it to see what's going on in the cookie world and in the competition world, and see how far people go. And it was fantastic. That really got me going into that artistic side of things, and thinking, okay, this is an even bigger challenge. Once I got out of there, I said, okay, I can go even further, seeing the fantastic things people do and create. So since then, I've started doing, you know, a little more artistic pieces, and I had joined Cookie Connection a long time ago, but I wasn't a big active participant at all until this first competition about, you know, the food cookie competition. That was fantastic. I did the nachos.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah,
Love
so
those.
that was super fun. And you know, I've done a couple of other, you know, of course, following people on Instagram. I've become a little more active. I need to get a lot more active on social media. But you know, following other people, I've seen the fantastic things that are being done. So I see something and I give it a try. Like I did my pets, and that was a lot of fun. I spent like 3 days doing a cookie. So, you know, something I had never done, but you know, the things come out great, and I find out that I can do stuff. I can do more than I thought I could. You know, this week I joined another collab with that they did a music album cover collaboration. So I joined that, and it was fantastic. So anyway, enough for me.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Our last person to introduce is Cynthia Raven. So I'm going to ask her to unmute.
I'm here.
Oh, hey, how are you? Morning.
Good morning and hello. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I was racing around like a crazy person this morning, and I had not brushed my hair or anything yet when you guys first started. So I was out on the patio, and then my significant other accidentally locked the patio door, so I couldn't get back in, and he was in the shower. So I had to come around in my pajamas in the front door. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, I'm here. It's nice to see everybody. It's nice to meet you. I'm Cindy Raven. My cookie business is Sugar Shack Cookie Studio. And my little tiny story here is Julia's my original cookie hero. First cookie I ever saw was something she had done, and I had the amazing opportunity to meet her in 2017, and then I had the even greater opportunity to work with her. So I travel with Julia occasionally and assist her, and I teach classes. I have a full-time day job, so I just teach classes on the side. I've taught at CookieCon in Kentucky and supposed to in September, but we'll see what happens with that. So, but I haven't been teaching here. I live in Kansas City, Missouri, and I have not been teaching. I had a class in January, and that's the last one I've had. I had to cancel, everything else. So anyway, that's me.
Welcome.
Nice to see you, Cindy.
So Donnie, back to you. I think we've introduced everybody. If somebody new comes on, I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. So we'll go with the next question. So here it is. How, if at all, has the situation where you live changed in the last month with regard to staying at home? Businesses being allowed to reopen, businesses being allowed to start operating differently. So let us know how it has changed for you in the last month, your business. Anyone?
No.
Well, for me, in the last month.
Tina, why don't you?
Sorry.
Oh, Maria, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. So I would say that actually it's been the past couple months, everything has been very, very quiet. Nothing has gone on. But then just this past few weeks, things are picking up for graduation. But other than that, it was, I didn't post anything. It was very quiet here. New York was completely shut down. So no one was going out at all. I wouldn't even think about offering cookies at that point. But now things are starting to open up a little bit. And so we've got a lot of I've got graduation orders, college and high school.
Good, good.
That's great to hear.
I was just going to say that I got shut down on March 14th. I was supposed to have a seminar, which was fully booked. I was so excited. I had put 100 hours of preparation into it. And Wednesday, they shut down all the centers for learning. And I live in Greece. And when I go to Thessaloniki, I need to rent a place out. And the things have changed now. Everything just started opening up slowly over the last week. But the centers for learning, they have, for every student that you have, they need a space of 15 square meters. So where I could have fit 10 people in a room, I can now have 4. Wow. So it won't even be feasible for me to go spend 150 euros to rent a space out for the day to go. And plus I need gas and tolls, which is like another 100 euros, and all the other expenses to, with a class of 4 people. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I see everybody starting to do online teaching, and I think that until after September, October, if I'm going to have a student, unless I do private out of a studio I have here at home, I'm not going to be doing any teaching, which is really depressing because my husband's a professional photographer. All of his work has been canceled. My 2 sons have a gym. The gym will not open until July 1st. Nobody goes to the gym July, August, and September. So it's really going to be a tough year financially for us. And that was extra money that we could really have used. So I'm just really up in the air right now. And it's hard.
Maybe we come back to this discussion at the end about how people are dealing with that, because I know a lot of people are moving to online classes. I'm exploring it too, and I think there's some real possibilities there. Like,
yeah,
not just for now, but for long term.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, well, for me, it's, everything came to a full stop. And just within the last week and a half, since things have been opening up, for some reason, people are now slowly starting to ask questions and stuff, and a couple of orders, but people are just doing very small things at home. So an order for a dozen cookies, which it's great to see something happening, but it really isn't a whole lot. So yeah, for me, it's been, spending time learning new stuff. Like I said before, practicing new techniques, which is awesome because you never really have time to do that. So that's pretty much it. Slow, very slow.
Mhm.
Elke, Cynthia, Dottie?
Yeah, you guys have heard on the news how bad Brazil is about the coronavirus. We are the second country with most cases, and we are a very corrupt country. So we probably have the same amount of cases as or more than the United States. So instead of fixing the problem after 2 months stuck in the house, they are thinking about reopening. However, we don't have the testing. Things are terrible after 2 months of shelter in place. So people are getting desperate, going out. So the situation in Brazil is really bad. Our president is the far right president that doesn't believe in social distancing, goes out without a mask. So it's hard. Here in Brazil is a total mess. And I have zero money coming in as a cookie. And I have no husband. So just pray everything's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's gonna be all right someday.
Yeah.
It will be.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elke.
Cynthia or Dottie too. Dottie, I'd love to hear about your online classes because I know you're still doing them.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I completely shut down, what was it, all of March and all of April as far as in-person classes and parties. And at that time I was having 1 or 2 a week. So those were completely gone. But thankfully I had already had my online classes set up. So I continued those through the hardest part of the time. And I also sell supplies in an online shop. So during that time I was able to kind of focus on that. But in the last month, I did get back to the bakery. I've started making some cookies, just paint your own cookie kits, not custom orders. And I did have one-on-one class last week, which was the first time in months. This nice, daring lady said, let's just do it. So we did. And then she was somebody actually that I had postponed from earlier. And this week I have another one-on-one. It's actually a 1-on-3. It's a mom, a grandmother, mom, yeah, and daughter coming in to see me. So that's making me hopeful that my private classes are coming back. I think it's going to be a long time until I can hold my group parties again. So yeah, I'm going to continue with my online classes. My online classes are just business classes. So I haven't started the decorating online classes, which I have been considering doing. And maybe I'll jump on that kind of a thing to replace my in-person parties that aren't going to be happening. So yeah, that's something I've been thinking about too, but just haven't quite jumped into it yet.
So I'm going to question you. When you do an online business class, is this, you use Zoom? How do you do it?
Yeah, I've been using Zoom for a couple years now, doing my online classes. So it's just like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do this from the bakery where I have my business out of. So it's nice. I get to show people actually where I do my work and how I do it that way. So I think that's kind of, fun to be able to show to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right now I'm in my basement. I'm not at the bakery.
Well, in the past, I've had lots of people ask me if I had online classes, and I hadn't set that up yet, thinking, and I wish so much I would have put more effort into that before, because this would have been a really good time to, roll something out. But again, it's time and but having a full-time job, and I'm over HR for my company. So you can imagine what my life is like right now with COVID and updates and changes and employees. And it's just craziness. I haven't touched a cookie in 3 weeks, but I am today. I told my boss, I'm going to lose my mind if I don't get back to cooking. So I'm doing that. But I had a private online class with somebody, and that was awesome. I mean, it was a lady from California, and she had asked me several times, and I'm like, okay, you're going to push. So it pushed me to set up the camera, to set up to see how I could make it work. And it worked. I mean, it worked great. It really did. So I'd like to do some more of those and figure out some additional ways to, I was supposed to be teaching at a Christmas in July retreat in July, and that just got canceled yesterday. So I know, it just, I mean, I was hoping, you know, fingers crossed maybe, but again, with the social distancing and the amount of space she would have to have, and then all this, and then she was concerned about the liability too, and I get that. I mean, that's part of why I haven't started having classes back again. You know, I don't know, it's just very scary. And Julia and I live about 4 hours apart from each other, so I know that Lake of the Ozarks made the international news because I have a friend who lives in Barcelona and they saw it, and all these crazy people out down at the lake. And now I've heard, Julia, that there was a case and now they're identifying that person, and it was all these people in pools and I mean, so I'm here in Kansas City, and especially for HR and for my employees, I just kind of want to wait and see how the next 2 or 3 weeks roll out after the city starts opening up and people are going around, and I'm just terrified the numbers are going to spike again, you know, as they open up and, you know, roll out businesses and stuff. So I don't know. I'm just one day at a time, really. So.
Yeah, but like Julia said, I really think these online classes are here to stay. You can reach more people, you can do a lot more classes that way, and I think getting them set up and kind of taking our businesses that way isn't a bad idea, no matter how this thing.
Right. I mean, I think it saves money for people on travel. It saves money for us as instructors and all the supplies and all that, you know. So I think if we can really finesse and hone that and make it, you know, a unique experience for everybody, I think it'll be great. So.
Yeah, I do too. So somebody just joined, and the name is kind of unidentifiable. It says Galaxy Tab A. So if that person wants to unmute and say hello, we'd love to know who you are. And if not, we can continue.
I have a question.
Sure.
Regarding online classes, I know people are using Zoom, and that, you know, I've used it a couple of times, so it seems fairly easy. But in terms of showing people what you're doing and, you know, actually instructing, what setup do you have? Or I don't know if you guys are going to talk about that later, or.
Do you want me to say something about that? Because I've been experimenting with it. Dottie can too, but I've been experimenting with it. I just don't know when I'm going to go online, but I feel like I'm ready to at any moment. But I'm still waiting for. I've got a video shoot coming up for YouTube. I got to get through that, and then my fall classes start, and then I might be completely consumed with those if they run. But if they don't run, then I'm contemplating flipping some into online classes. So I just take my document camera, you know, there are some document cameras I use to project my classes when I teach elsewhere, and they plug, you know, through an HDMI cable or USB port into your laptop. So on Zoom, I can use one device and manage the whole class. I think it might be a little bit challenging. So I can plug in a device, and when I hit the share screen mode, it will share my device. It will also show me talking at the same time. So it'll show whatever my camera is projecting, you know, in front of my computer, and also show my face if I'm in a certain screen sharing mode and split screen mode. So it's pretty easy to do, honestly. And the document camera I have is really nice, high quality. The thing I need to invest in, obviously, is light. You can see my space is really backlit, so I look really dark. So I've got a ring light that I just bought that hopefully will remedy that. I also need a haircut.
Do you have a specific brand? I've never used
the document camera. Yeah, I do, and I have to find it.
You want me to go get my box, Julia?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, she has the same one. Cynthia and I have actually been doing a lot of brainstorming about online classes on Zoom. So we've been comparing setups and stuff. So she's actually the one. I should give her credit because she's actually the one that clued me into. She had multiple devices set up. This way, I like it because I can plug my document camera directly into my laptop, so I don't need like a peripheral iPhone or anything else. So my computer is capturing my face and projecting that to you guys. My document camera is projecting what it's trained on, which is looking down at my work surface.
A document camera is something, is a Pico? What Are we
I-
talking?
Cynthia's getting hers. It's basically a camera that's mounted on a
Tripod.
yeah, I mean, it's on an arm that you can flex any which way. So I can bring it down really close. I can bring it up.
Mount, like an Archon mount.
Yeah, it's like an Archon mount, but it's got the camera built into it, so I don't have to
Oh,
tie
cool.
to it.
Can it hold a DSLR camera, Julia? Can it hold the weight?
It's it doesn't. It has the camera in it built in. It's a tiny little camera. I should go get it. You guys,
the camera.
you guys carry. Oh, she's got it. So there, she's got it. That's what it looks like.
I can't see it.
What brand is it?
Cynthia, say.
Oh,
Oh.
And this is the camera part, so you can turn it,
Right.
and then it's
Cool.
just got a cable you can just plug into your laptop. And this is the brand. Can you see?
okay.
Easy.
I could
And
post-
It's
Is
good.
it
The
a
picture
YouTube
quality is
quality?
good.
Can you write the name of the brand in the chat?
Yes, I can do that.
You know, and I'll also post it. I post the recording to the video. I'll post it, a link to it in the comments
Thank
under the notes. It'll be in the chat area.
I have logistics.
So as soon as you connect the camera, you can already see it. See the.
Yeah, you just plug it into I plug mine in through my HDMI cable into this
Right.
my HDMI port in my camera on my
Mhm.
computer. My computer's powering it up, you know, so it powers through the computer. So I only have one plug-in, and then I you have to turn on the camera at the camera,
Okay.
and it will automatically focus. It's got a little focus button, and then you can move it up and down. It's really great, and it's really high quality.
Fantastic.
Really high quality view. It's got a built-in light near the camera too, so it shines down on the work surface, which is good and bad. If I'm stenciling, it's bad because it reflects off stencils, but otherwise it's pretty good.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah, that's great information.
and that's you know, Cynthia turned me on to all of that. I rig mine slightly differently than she does, but Elke.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention quickly, Maria, I know you were waiting to say something as well. I am totally ignorant on internet stuff. I have lots of limitations in terms of ability to buy things.
Go away.
Because everything is extremely expensive. So the way I found out to do it, I am not going to do anything online. I think I will mess everything out. I am not good on it. I bought a DSLR camera and I do the editing myself. If I can do it, guys, you can do it. The good thing about it, I tape all my classes and I had edited it. So I control the results. I redo some scenes. I don't have the thing that shows on the top like Julia does, or two cameras, because her videos are professional. She has two cameras. I don't have that yet. However, I move the camera close, redo the shots, and I am using software called DaVinci Resolve 16 Beta. It's a free version, is excellent. So you guys can do the videos at home, edit the videos, make a class, put some music, put some intros, and sell that instead of using the online version where you have the internet connection stuff, you have the cable problem, things like that. So that's my suggestion.
No,
It's called DaVinci Resolve Beta 16. Okay?
You're lovely. Hey, what were
So Cynthia chatted to everybody. She put the brand in the chat area. Do you guys see that?
I have a question. So if you use the document camera and you're teaching a class and you're in a remote place, how do you set up the class participants with royal icing and cookies, especially if they've never done it before? How do they know how to make royal icing?
Yeah, good question.
Because my son lives out in California, I'm in New York. He says, Mom, my friends want to do a cookie lesson, a master class, they're calling it. We want a master class. And I'm like, how do I get you the icing? And in the cookies I can send, but how do I get you the icing? So what do we do? How do you do that?
We're doing it differently, but Tina, go ahead.
I've been watching very carefully and closely how everybody, I feel like a little spy here. because I'm thinking the same thing. To me, I've been cooking for 7 years now, and the consistency did not come easily to learn that. And what I'm seeing everybody doing is that they send out, there's two ways. Either they send out pre-done kits that has everything in it with the cutter, with the instructions. They give you a date, you can have the cookies ready, and you just, go with the online class, or they give you the instructions online and you have everything ready. You have to hand cut probably the cookies, and the instructions are all there. But the thing is, they're giving you the recipe. Fine. I mean, no 2 days in a row are my recipes the same when I'm doing my consistencies. I need to feel it. I need to know it. And I think that's really difficult for people to be offering master classes with consistencies. And, I'm not talking about one particular consistency. I'm talking about using multiple consistencies, but they're doing it. And they're doing 2-hour classes and they're doing 8-hour classes. That's where I'm getting stumped. It's like, wow, unless I actually send them the royal icing packed and ready, how are they going to get this right?
I think it just poses a different learning challenge. Practically speaking, I would send people lists and they'd have to prep their own stuff. But the benefit of then having everybody online is then people benefit of that, though. There is a benefit of that because it forces everybody to make it as opposed to the instructor making it for the whole class. And then they get that direct experience of having to handle it. That's my frustration when I teach in person often, is that people expect their icing to be bagged and they don't really want to handle it. It's like, hey, that's half the lesson. So I like the fact that it forces people to make it, and if they're having problems with it, then they can hold it up. And it's not the same as me adjusting it for them or helping them adjust it, but they have, in some ways, it enforces more direct experience with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just hate to do that with the 8 people in the class.
Yeah.
If it's one-on-one, fine. But if you've got a whole group and everybody's like, you waste a lot of time just prepping that way. I'd find it very frustrating.
Yeah. It would have to be a small class to do how to make icing on top of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just doing these for locals. So the people will come and pick up the cookies and the icing already bagged. And then the instructor is just demoing, and then they're, doing what the instructor does.
Yeah.
So you could ship that too. You could ship them the cookies and the bagged icing, and then demonstrate.
Yeah.
I'm having kind of a dilemma because I put a little survey out about like what people want to see me teach, and I had planned to lead with like a really simple stenciling one, because that way all people have to do is make a cookie and ice it, and I can get them the stencils, easily. However, nobody wants to see that. They want to see 3D cookies. I'm like, okay, gang, not only do you have to make your own icings, you're going to have to make your 3D cookies in advance. So I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going to start,
But
I see some people actually putting everything, the whole cookies, everything, they're, pack them away and they ship out everything. And when everybody gets their little packages, they have the class, and, it's like, really? And they're doing this worldwide. That's why I'm like, really, like, blown away what's going on now. And people are paying a lot of money. These aren't cheap classes.
But I think people will also pay simply for demos. Mm-hmm. Julia, just to see you airbrush and not have my own airbrush or anything going on, but just to watch you. Mm-hmm. I think people are more than willing to pay for that also.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of free demoing going on right now, which I get. People are being really trying to be compassionate to those that don't have money to spend, particularly right now. But on the other hand, it makes it really hard for people to come out and sell demos. So I'm a little disappointed to see like this rash of free stuff going on, because
Cakeflix is going
living. So
there's some of the like Cakeflix is going nonstop.
Right. It's a whole weekend with free demos. It's like, wait a minute, you should be charging for this. That's my feeling. That's my bias. Maybe not charging what one would normally charge, because it's a different environment, a more difficult environment to view, and people are really cash poor right now. But we need to be sensitive to that. But on the other hand, these people are putting a ton of time into the demos.
Right.
Yeah, I agree these things shouldn't be free. But then again, you know, people are at home, and I did do a free little demo for an Easter bunny cookie, you know, very simple thing. And the people were really thankful for it. Of course, I do agree that, you know, more techniques kind of thing, yeah, it wouldn't be right. I did take a class, an online class, a small group from a lady that was teaching a specific technique. I forget what it's called. I can't remember. But she had a Zoom. There were about 10 people, and she required everybody to have ready their icing, different consistencies. I will say that her description of what she needed wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. Like, she required, you know, this she said, this is not a beginner class. You know, you need to know about consistencies. So you know, she had a detailed list that she sent prior, and colors, and, you know, the cookie had to be already iced. So, you know, I guess it all depends on what level you're in, and
So Maria has something to say.
I just have a logistics question. So if you were to send the icing to your participants, and you have to put it through the mail, how long would, and you bag it up, how long would the icing last? I know it will separate and you can mix it together and all, but how long would it last? Does priority mail get it there quickly enough? Or, I mean, I refrigerate mine or freeze it. So I keep it on the counter for a day or so, but I just haven't any longer because I don't know the answer. So that's why I've always just, you know, tried to keep it cold. But how long would it last through the mail? Do you have any idea?
I would just suggest Renshaw has a product that they have ready-made, Royal, or Squire's Kitchen has the professional royal icing, which I think is fabulous. That if I ever did anything like that, I'd probably send them the ready stuff and with instructions on how much to dilute it for each consistency. That would be the safer of anything. I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't know how to work it with fresh icing.
Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna run my classes if I do them online that way. I would have people prep their stuff at their home.
Yeah, see, this is just
such a huge headache. They don't get it in the mail,
it's
and
not a
blah,
paid
blah.
class.
I just think
Yeah.
it adds a level of complexity I personally wouldn't want to undertake. I don't even like to undertake it for my in-person classes.
I know, that's the worst part. Bagging all that icing. But if you use meringue powder, I know people that keep it at room temperature for weeks for icing. So sending it in the mail and then doing the class within a couple of days, I personally would not have a problem with that at all.
So people who use meringue powder, which is what I do, you can leave it on the counter for a long time and it's fine?
Yeah, I don't. I put mine in the refrigerator if I'm not going to use it within a couple of days, or in the freezer if I'm not going to use it longer, simply because it does separate less. It just, the consistency stays better. But I do know people that leave it on the counter for weeks until they've used it. That's using meringue powder. I don't know if egg, Julia,
with raw eggs are more perishable. And if they're infected with salmonella and it sits at room temperature, then the bacteria is just going to magnify. So yeah, I don't serve anybody, so I do leave mine out. But if I were, I'd be refrigerating it if not in use. So, and it won't.
Only if it's the stiff consistency. If you've already watered it down a little bit, I won't. It'll just separate, and
it separates really fast.
But still, after a day, I'll just put it in the fridge.
I think it's kind of better for local classes on all fronts if you're providing.
Yeah.
Dottie, do you want to get back to your questions, or?
Yes, let's see. And we've been through several of them. So let's, how about let us know, have you done anything during this time to further benefit your business? Learned a new skill, practiced something? Is Cindy saying me? What have you done to further your
Well,
business?
because my significant other was feeling sorry for me that I hadn't been able to do much cooking and stuff. Hang on just a second. I locked him out on purpose on the patio this time, so hold on.
I don't know if you guys heard, he did that to her earlier.
Lessons learned, right? Sorry, honey.
Don't laugh. Do not encourage her.
So he so we made a decision and we bought this. So I'm gonna try to.
What'd you buy?
I'm gonna. It came. The thing came. My box. Hold on a second. I'm gonna turn the camera. Can I turn the camera around? I can do that, can't I?
I think you
Where do I do that at?
Should be able.
Well, I'll just do it this way.
What is it?
Oh my
Oh,
Nice.
beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Like I have been so excited. And it came last Thursday and it's in this giant crate by semi truck. So my neighbors are all coming out and they're like, do you have an animal in there? I'm like, no, I swear it's not a wild animal. But you had to get it out of the crate. I mean, it's like a wood solid crate, not like cardboard or anything, and then bring it in. And then it took a while to get all the shelves, in and everything. It came pre-built, sort of. I had to attach the doors and stuff, but and until this week, he's like, I can't believe you don't have it all filled up yet. And I said, I want to do this methodically. I was really thinking about where I would be sitting, what I would reach for first, to make sure that I had, but look at this. So like they have these little jars. So when I have leftover icing, I make, all my flowers and roses to keep them there. I don't know if you can see that. But they have these.
Beautiful.
So I can keep them by, oh my gosh. Spinning around didn't mean to make you seasick there.
What a dream.
Can I duck and show you my storage situation?
Anyway, that's the new thing for me. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited about it.
All my cookies staged for the next shoot over taking our kitchen table. I've got a very husband. So
Cindy, do you have your own room in the house?
Well, I did. I had my own cooking room, but that is now my office because I'm working from home, and probably will be for the next 6 months. I mean, most of what I do could be done from home anyway, but we had an office and but my owner he's been very respectful and gracious, and he just said, if you don't need to come back, don't, because we're all being productive, but so it's turned into my office, and so for me to have to shift and move, it was becoming more problematic to do that downstairs in the cooking room. And then it was like oppressive because I'd been there all day working on the computer and papers, and then I don't know, it's not a fun room anymore, so I needed it to, so I started working up here in my kitchen, but it wasn't set up that way. So I had all these big storage Tupperware things in the pantry. So every time I would work on something, I had to drag it out. And so I saw this I'd seen it several years ago, and I'd wanted one, but I had not ever done it. And I showed it to him, and he's like, why don't you have this? This would just make your life so much easier. So yay.
Good.
we've got
That's
Carol
great.
on this. I just added her. She looks like she's connecting her audio.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have to say goodbye, but thank you
no.
for all of this. This was wonderful. It was so nice to meet you all virtually.
Nice
And
Nice,
faces.
Lori.
It's just
Nice to meet
wonderful.
you.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Nice
Bye.
to meet you.
Bye.
Well, I had a chance to be part of the Cake International Show competition.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one that you would have to travel to England to be part of. I don't know if you guys remember my 3 girls' cookies I made. A girl from Africa, a girl from Ukraine.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and a girl from Nepal. Yeah, no, not Africa. I think she was from. I forgot the country from Africa. So I was able to be part of it. It was very nice. Of course, I didn't win anything because I've been learning how they want the cake cookies. It's not that simple. They don't like fancy cookies. I have to understand what is in the judge's mind all the way in England. They don't like fancy cookies. I need to toned down my skills, you know, to win something.
That's great. What a experience.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
Wow.
So the fact that there are having so many online competitions is a good thing for me. I was part of the San Diego show as well. For the San Diego show, I was with my, remember Julia, my mouse, my 3D mouse that was picking strawberries.
Yeah.
So I was part of that with the competition. I didn't win. The lady who won made a beautiful cupcakes with a carousel thing looking beautiful. But it was a good experience.
Good for you.
Joining us. Carol, do you want to give us a quick intro of yourself?
Well, hi, everybody. It's so nice to meet you here. Can you see me or not?
Yes, we can see you. We've been on for about an hour, so we're kind of winding down, but we want to get you in the loop here.
Oh, well, it's so nice to see you and hear you for the first time, Julia. I mean, I hear you a lot, but anyhow, I'm sorry I'm late to the party, but I had to download Zoom and anyhow. But did you have a question?
Well, why don't you introduce yourself, because everybody here knows who each other is. Just say who you are, where you live, how you participate in cookies, and then right now we're discussing what we've done in this time to kind of further our businesses.
Okay, I'm Carol with Cookies Fantastique, and I live in Arizona in the United States. During this time, it's really been hard. I have had practically no orders come in. I just recently received a large order, which was helpful, but it's been really challenging, and I've thought a lot about jumping into the cookie decorating kits that are being put together and sold. I don't know how successful they are, but it sounds like they're going pretty well and that they're selling pretty quickly. Any other people talk about that?
People are doing really well with kits. A lot of people are. Because the kids are home, not in school, so it's giving them something to do, giving the moms something to do, something fun, creative, educational even. Yeah, it's a good thing to get into now.
It sounds like it. Sounds like it's quite a bit of work too, because I do have a part-time job, and I'm trying to kind of juggle everything at the same time. But cookies is a big part of my world. It's a passion, that's for sure.
Good.
Yeah, cookies are my only way of income. My bills are piling up. Like I just need to survive. You know, we can't get too anxious. I'm getting anxious because the disease is spreading everywhere. Brazil is not fixing anything. But like I should do some kits. But because of my YouTube channel, I have been able to do at least this project that is important. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think there's a market for kits there in Brazil?
Probably there is market for this, but the mail service is shutting down. Nobody's delivering anything. So Brazilians are really in a very difficult economic situation. We don't have the money to do anything. That's the problem. Most of the people are in desperate situation.
Well, Elke, since you're such a fabulous decorator, perhaps you could do demonstration classes online to us, to people all over the world that might have more money than what you have locally.
Great idea.
Yeah, Dottie, thank you for asking, because I'm part of the Facebook groups like Lila Loa, Sweet Sugar Bell. They give me so many. I forgot the word in English, but they say good things about me. And many people ask me classes. So because now I have this camera, I asked my mother-in-law for the money. Because I have this nice camera now, I can make classes for you from United States, because for every $1, it's 6 reais in Brazil.
Oh.
So I could make a good money if I start doing it. I'm considering it. So I don't know how. I need to understand which platform to sell, how, like I don't know how to sell it. That's the problem with me, you know? I don't know how make the videos and how to put it online. That's my problem.
You can ask people on Cookie Connection or in those Facebook groups, in Julia's group, and I'm sure people will help you figure out how to do that. I'm sure they'd be happy to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, even with this, like if you were to do them on Zoom, you can record the whole conversation. So you can do them on Zoom. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm just going to have people pay me. I'll either set up something on Eventbrite so I get paid directly through that, or just take it through PayPal, the fees, and then send out the Zoom link once the fees are, in place. And then you can record your class while you're doing it on Zoom, which you can then, you've got a YouTube platform, so you could post them there if you wanted to. I mean, that's I don't know that I will, because people have paid for the class. So
Julia,
Yeah.
one question. When you have a YouTube channel, can you have certain videos that are private?
Yeah. So you can have different status on your videos. So I have some that are public. I have some that are private, that people can and I have some that are closed, so some that people can't see, some that people can see if they have the link, and others that anybody can see.
So I could have somebody to pay me and have access to that closed videos. Is that possible?
Yeah, you could.
Oh, that's interesting.
Vimeo is another platform too, where you can upload videos and control access.
Vimeo, I see.
Some people are also doing closed Facebook groups where they do a Facebook group for each one of their lessons. So they would pay you, and you can only, there's a lot of different ways you can do it.
Yeah, there is a lady in Brazil that she paints on fabric. It's amazing. She sends the class through Google Chrome, Google Docs or something.
Yep.
She's complaining that having too many problems, but that is another option as well. Mm-hmm. She sends the email to the person that shows the receipt of the payment. That's another option. I have received one as a gift.
All right. Anybody else have anything to share? And then we'll get to maybe our last question about how you've done anything to improve your business, to work on? No? Okay. Then let's just end it with the one last question. Do you have any words of encouragement for all of us here looking forward as far as our businesses go, even personally, Christina?
Tina, you guys all know me as Sugar Wishes. And hi, Carol, I'm really excited to see you. Hi, honey.
It's so good to see you.
It is, it's nice. Since Greece has been like forward in the world, we've just done a great job in keeping the lid on this, and we are probably the first ones rolling out of it. It's been 10 days. We have maybe 2 cases a day. You're feeling freer. The first time I went shopping was actually by myself on Friday last week, and I was so excited. And then it's like, we're not wearing masks. Like, people, social distancing. It's just, you kind of forget 5 minutes after you're out of it that you were in it. And
that is very encouraging. That is.
Yeah, I mean, because we were on when I say we were on lockdown, honey, we were on lockdown. I mean, we couldn't leave my house. It was really bad here. But it paid. So if there's 2 cases in all of Greece and there's 11 million people, what are the chances are that I'm gonna find the guy in the supermarket in the middle of nowhere in my town? So there is an end to it. There's a sense of positivity. There still is, the hotels and things are still not opening up until July 1st. Travel is still limited to within the country. But once it's over, it's over. It's like I feel so much better this week than I did last week.
Mhm.
And I really hope that things straighten out in the States and worldwide and Brazil. And you know, I'm feeling very hopeful.
That's good.
So.
Good.
Thank
It's,
you.
I think it's been really frustrating, you know, because it feels like this will never end,
Yeah,
at least right
it
now.
will.
Things
It
are
will.
getting better everywhere, hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good
It
to
really
hear.
doesn't, for me, it doesn't seem like things are getting better at all. But not here. I mean, I'm still freaked out, maybe even more than I was a month ago, because people are going out about it like everything's all better, and it really isn't. So I need encouragement. I'm hopeless right now. I'm very pessimistic.
Anybody words for Patricia?
I would just say, well, for me, I'm kind of in your boat, Patricia. I'm a little bit wary of the opening and really watching things carefully to see how the disease changes, perhaps its trajectory. Now that people are out not doing what they should be doing. So I'm a little more cautious. I guess I would say, you know, and I'm very moody, so my moods go up and down routinely.
Yeah.
I guess what keeps me going is just knowing that there are opportunities to connect with people like this. I've spent a lot more time with my friends than I normally do. You know, really relying on Zoom calls to stay connected. So what I do feel, I guess I would just say reach out to the network. You know, if you're feeling bummed out, if you're feeling unsure, there are people out there that are feeling the same way and need the same level of connection. So I've been doing a lot of that.
I have been really, for the first time in my life, I have been really scared of the situation. Brazil is totally out of control. We lie about the numbers. So for you to understand, my state took out of the list 101,000 cases because they couldn't test anybody. So when you see the numbers in the chats, the charts about the COVID cases in Brazil, you can double it or even 3 times more. So for example, my state, they only test 78 people in every 100,000. So you can imagine. And people are ignorant. Our president goes out without a mask and then kisses everyone. So I feel kind of nervous because I don't have my ex-husband lives 4 hours from me. My 2 sisters live in the United States. I have no parents. And my daughter is 12. If I get sick, I don't have anybody to take care of her. So it's been hard for me. For me, it's been hard. I have been kind of nervous lately. I don't know.
Take a deep breath. I think you should throw your energy into creating some classes, stuff you can do remotely.
Yes, I do. I think so. I think so.
I'm a big quote person. I like to put a quote at the end of my signature line at work, and I always try to find something that inspires me or that I think will help others. And the quote that I have right now on my signature line for work, it says, "Always be a work in progress." And I think that this is a really good time for us to work on being the best that we can be, honing our skills, learning something new, learning how to put something online, learning how to, you know, use technology better. Thanks to Julia, I mean, I've used Zoom for meetings, but it was very limited. But we had a little group friend meeting the other night, and she had put together. So it helped me at work, because then when we had this big Zoom meeting at work, I was like, oh, I know this and this and this. And they were like, oh, Cindy, good for you. I'm like, thank you, Julia. Because I mean, I didn't, you know, I'm very much a people person. I'm an extrovert. This is killing me. I mean, I can start crying at any moment because I miss my friends. I miss people. My daughter came over and we were talking, and she goes, oh my gosh, Mom, you need to go back to work, because like you talked for 30 minutes and didn't take a breath, you know? I mean, I miss the interaction a lot, but this has helped. I've kind of tried to figure out, I think I was operating in like emergency mode, and it's not emergency mode anymore. I think it's the way it's going to be for a while. So I need to rethink how I'm doing things and put these kind of opportunities to connect with people in place so that I'm not lost and alone. And I think I'm trying to work on my own stuff and practice some things and learn some new techniques and come up with some ideas that sometimes turn out to be happy accidents and other times not. So anyway, so that's my thing. Always be a work in progress.
The thing I've
That's
struggled
great.
with is also being kind to myself, because, you know, things are taking me freaking forever. Things that I could do. I don't know how I did what I was doing before this virus.
Yes.
But, you know, I was doing so much, and now in a day I get a small fraction of that done, and then I end up, like, at the end of the day beating myself up over it.
What's happening?
So I just think, you know, and I'm saying this, not always practicing it, but I think being able to step back and be a little bit kind to yourself, because there's so many distractions, there's so many stressors, you know, in the environment here in the United States, politically and racially, that are going on right now, that great emotional distress. I think that, you know, just allowing yourself to be distracted and not be your normal self is okay too. So
Good advice.
Yeah.
Well, I
For
think
me,
I
it's
have
been a
to
lot
say
more
that-
bottles of
that
wine. So
this idea of you guys doing this is just fantastic, I'm very thankful. I can't believe there's only 7 people here. I just can't believe it. It's such an opportunity for, I mean, at least for me, you know, to meet you ladies is just priceless. So I'm very thankful.
Yes, that's priceless.
yeah, it was great. So we've got somebody joining us at the very end. I'm going to have to leave, but we'll say hi to Christine. Christine is my host of my classes coming up in Michigan, so she might talk a little bit about reopening to in-person classes. She's taking the leap with me to launch.
Julie, I hope someday I'll be in your competition.
Yeah, I hope so too. I don't know when the next one will be in Austin. It's in February, my competition.
In February?
Yeah, so hopefully.
Okay. No, I can't make that to February, but next time. Next time.
Let's
Well,
see.
I just want to thank you all and hope that you all did get some encouragement from this meeting. I know I did.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for really, you know, pioneering this and also coming up with all the questions and just being thoughtful and caring enough to make this happen.
I just have a quick question. Can everybody put their business name in the chat or something so that we can find and follow each other? Because I mean, this has been a great group, and I like to know you guys, and I'd like to see your work and follow it. So.
That's nice.
That's great. Does everybody know how to do that?
No.
I will try.
Okay, so go to the chat mode. If you go to the bottom of your screen, you'll see chat, and it'll open up a panel to the right.
Okay.
And, then you just want to select at the bottom, you want to select everyone to send a message to everyone. So and then type in your name. And so mine's my name. So I'm just doing that now. And you'll then see it entered into the chat area.
And I'm just going to take a screenshot of that whole chat area once everybody's.
Me too.
So Christine's still trying to connect audio. But anyway, I'll touch base with her later. I wish she had gotten on earlier, because she really has done a lot of work to set up these online classes in September, and we've got a COVID policy that we're trying to work toward and everything else. So
Let's see. Patricia, are you able to add yours? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that everybody?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I don't see Tina in there, do we?
I can't figure out how to do this.
Okay,
Oh,
so-
everyone.
It's
I am so challenged. You have no idea. I'm doing it right now.
I think she said it privately.
Yeah, and I type really slow. Are we
There you
good?
go. Yep.
Sugar wishes.
Yeah, great. And did we get Carol in there too? I don't see Carol in there either.
Oh.
This was really wonderful. And I'm so excited because I guess because I am, like I said, probably one of the oldest cookiers. all of this is just so new to me, you know, the technology and just the internet, and oh my God, it's just really awesome. And because I feel so close to like Julia, Carol, I mean, these are people that have been part of my life. So it's just a joy. Really, thank you guys so much.
It's fun to see everybody this morning. Thanks for coming.
All right,
Yeah,
thank
you so much. And it was
Thank you, Patty.
Nice to
really-
see everybody.
Recording will
Thank you, guys.
Please do this
Thank
again.
you.
in the chat. We'll try to do it again.
It's never too late. Never too late to start. Never too late. See,
Never
I
too
am
late.
50 years old, half a century.
Join the club.
Thank you.
Some of us have a
Thank you.
Bye
What a
bye,
pleasure.
guys.
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Be safe.
Take care.